Welcome in, welcome in. We are back for week 16. Technical
Finally.
difficulties. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
finally.
I mean, we've been troubleshooting for like the last 45 minutes to an hour. But yeah, I think we finally got it figured out. So yeah, let us know in the chat if you're seeing any kind of lag or freezing or anything like that. But we're fingers crossed we should be good here.
Yeah, as people are coming in here, maybe we can just talk about, I don't know, anything. but,
Yeah. Actually,
yeah.
what? I thought it'd be kind of a lot of trading in my dynasty leagues. Talk about like the best value players to like trade for right now in your leagues where there's no deadline. And yeah, I see you just like froze for a few seconds
Yeah.
there. So
Let's hope for the best.
yeah, okay. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often. And yeah, definitely let us know in the chat like what you guys are seeing and experiencing. Also, if you have any suggestions for us of how we
Oh, shoot. Shoot. We were doing so well.
closer to my router. So yeah, hoping that's better.
Shoot.
But really not all the way perfect yet.
Yeah, that's crazy. You were doing so well on connection. Shoot. God damn it! You were doing so well on connection, or we were whoever
Yeah,
it
what do we want?
was.
What do we want to do here? Do you want me to? Let me try switching my phone. I'll switch to my phone just for fun. Okay.
Yep, see if
All
that
right. Be right
works
back.
or
Yeah.
not. As people are coming in here, bear with us. We Dan will be back in a moment here. I will take this off for a second, but yeah, I will take this off for a second, but yeah, we've had some technical difficulties. Just big time connection issues. It's saying it's popping up your connection for me. But then like it was working when Dan moved around. I don't know. So if you guys got any suggestions, let us know. Let us know in chat here how you did first round of playoffs. Hopefully you guys had some good weeks. It was a pretty crazy week. Not gonna lie, there was some pretty insane performances there. Dan, you are back. Let's see.
Yeah.
If you're
Hopefully you
connected.
can hear me okay. Sorry if the angle's like a little weird. I'll try to make it look normal here. Yeah. So can you hear me okay so far? Am I freezing at all?
So far, so good.
Okay. Cool. We'll roll with it here. Hopefully it's better on my phone. Yeah, we're still trying to isolate the problem. Definitely kind of frustrating, but hopefully this will be better. And yeah, we definitely had a crazy better. And yeah, we definitely had a crazy Thursday game. A lot of implications for people's fantasy football matchups and round.
You have this week Thursday Night Football. We have a pretty brutal first half. Now, Puka had an all right first half. Stafford passing yards wise had a good first half, and
Mhm.
K9 had a good sort of good first half. I think he broke that big one in the second. And if you own JSN, you own Darnold. I mean, even Puka was just on for a mid game. That second half just exploded. I mean, everything was turned around. I mean, that basically turned into the game of the year in the second half. There must have been, 40 plus points scored after halftime?
Yeah,
Uh,
it was wild.
yeah.
And then yeah, it goes into overtime. I missed the last 2 minutes of the game in overtime, though I'm glad I did because I mean Puka like literally doubled his fantasy points, and he already had a lot of fantasy points, so that was just insane. And we wouldn't even have gotten the overtime if it wasn't for that crazy like 2 point conversion where they like ruled a fumble, and then what was it like the Seahawk just like casually like picked it up or whatever, and then that counted as a 2 point conversion. Like
That was super wonky. We're getting a little connection issue here.
you can't make the stuff up.
No, yeah, we were lagging there a little bit. You can't make that up though. The fact
Yeah.
that the game, that 2 point conversion, then led to overtime. I completely forgot that was such a big part of the game, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just such a wonky game because the weather. You can actually see how the weather really was impacting the game early. Like I think the Rams started with 7 straight rushes or something, or they had like a 7 rushes to 1 pass, and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe as the weather got a little bit better there. I mean, it looked like it was basically night and day between the first half and the second half for the way that the teams were playing.
Yeah.
Especially for, I mean, the Seahawks didn't even move the ball in the first half, minus K9.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just an insane game. Hopefully, you guys didn't come across many Pukas or Staffords. Hopefully, minimal Colby Parkinsons in lineups. I started him in like a half PPR redraft. because he just keeps scoring touchdowns. I see Nahal's in here. Welcome. He says he started Colby Parkinson over Tyler Warren. Don't blame me at all. Colby Parkinson has been red hot. It's a great matchup. We got rug pulled. I mean, it's just as simple as that. It's fantasy football for you. You know, that's why it's sketchy.
Yeah.
Starting players. He wasn't that high volume anyways, but he's been like a top 5 tight end since week 10. It's just that simple.
I mean, what's crazy is that Stafford throws for 457 yards or something crazy like that, and Parkinson gets 20 of them, and that's with no Devontae Adams. You can't make that stuff up.
Yeah.
But again, how many times do we have to learn this? And then look at Kenneth Walker, worst possible matchup, but he goes nuts, and there were things leading me to believe that this might be the case for Kenneth Walker. One is that he had a good game against the Rams a few weeks ago when he played against them. The second is, my theory about how when a talented player has been underproducing lately and then goes against a really hard, difficult matchup, it's like a guaranteed spike week. I've seen that so many times, and it's so bizarre. I do have a theory of why that happens. I don't know if we want to get into that now, but it is fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame anyone for sitting Stafford, especially when you got Dak or Baker, one of these other top quarterbacks options, or Brissett or something like that, because I mean, it was just a terrible weather game. I mean, the one thing is that I wanted to check what the weather was going to be before the game, not just we knew it was wind like crazy. It was supposed to be 100% rain though, so that would have been miserable. The fact that it didn't rain was kind of it sounded like a miracle. It was supposed to be 100%, just even.
Wait a minute, I would have sworn it was raining.
It might have been light raining at the start of the game, thus the run, but it was not raining by the end, or at least again nothing notable. They had it all tarped off before the game with heavy rain.
Yeah.
So I guess the weather just really turned around. That felt like the trap game of the century. I don't know if you remember Rams Niners.
You know what I mean? And also we have to keep in mind that it's sort of in the interest of news outlets to make it
he's been just as good as Stafford nearly. No reason really to even take the risk. And Thursday Night Football has been awful. So it's one of those ones where it's results that just turning the game of the year. No one saw that coming.
Yeah,
that is just insane. So yeah, I mean, normally we kind of get mad at ourselves for getting things wrong. Also, guess what? If Stafford had a terrible game, or I guess Kenneth Walker or whatever, no one had any actual reason to believe that this is the game. Also, volume-wise, which was crazy, Charbonnet and K9 both had good games. Their volume just stayed the same, even in a heavy rain game. You would think that what would turn it around would be, okay, if they pound the rock more. They each had 11 and 9 carries. I mean, they just were extremely efficient, found the end zone. And just an extremely high-scoring game. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't fault anyone.
Because also think about it, especially with Baker. Hey, he's got every single weapon back, and Stafford just lost. Devontae Adams is playing a terrible weather game and a terrible weather matchup. I mean, honestly, hey, what can you do? And by the way, I checked. That was Stafford's second best game for fantasy and off by half a point. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
His best outing in the worst condition.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, we should probably pull up the chat. I was going to say, I don't have access to it now because I'm going from my phone. But I'm resting my phone against my laptop. So it just occurred to me, oh, wait, I'll just open up the internet on my laptop. And I can see at least most of the screen. Part of it's being blocked on my phone. But, hey, we're trying to make this work here.
Yeah.
So, hopefully this is okay. Also, anytime that I've seen you freeze, I've just continued to talk.
If it lags, just you can
stop.
You
haven't been able to?
No, because no one else can hear. If I can't hear you, they can't hear you. You know what I mean? Here we go. I don't know what stupid Zoom. Okay, yeah. So if I can't hear
actually,
you,
want to do this for fun? I'm kind of curious about this because again, we're trying to isolate the problem here. If I leave the call here, I wonder if there's gonna be any freezing if you're just doing it solo. You want to try that just for fun for a few minutes?
Yeah, let's try that out.
Okay. All right, I'll leave, and I might be back. We'll see.
Okay. All right, we'll get back in here. We'll get to the chat here as well. Or I guess I'll get to the chat. Sure, Dan will be in it. Let's get it. You said you had a good week. I hope Your nasty receiver room paid off this week. Henderson, hopefully. Actually, what did you go with? Did you go with Henderson? You were the one with Henderson, Marks, Kyron, and who was the other one? You had another really good running back that you had to play there as well. I think you had 4 backs. So let us know how that went. Sounds like you won, so that's good. Nahal is in here. And we're talking about the Colby Parkinson over Tyler Warren. Don't blame you at all. Got rug pulled. That's the way it goes. And you're right. He did drop a couple footballs. Just, yeah. I mean, wasn't a good game by him. You picked up Emmanuel Wilson. I did the same. But you start him over Ladd or Ibuka. I would start him over Ladd and Ibuka this week. Especially, like, Ibuka had no, and assuming no Josh Jacobs, of course. Ibuka had less routes than, I believe, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Jalen McMillan. Insane stuff. So I would not feel good starting him. I would not feel good starting Ladd just in general. Everything's falling apart there. And Rico is a good question. I would start. That would be very close. Those guys would be in the same tier. God, Rico has a good matchup. That's very close. If Josh Jacobs out, I think I would be tempted to start Emmanuel Wilson over Rico Dettle, though. Just because he's going to be like a legit, pure workload, complete workhorse. Rico had a really strong rush share last week, which is good to see. I feel just a tad bit better, I think about Emmanuel Wilson. Dan likes Dowdle. I mean, those guys are in the same tier for me. I think maybe where I'm leaning is just like Emmanuel Wilson might get 90% of the rushing share, might also see work, and that could be a huge game with the Bears. I do think that pretty much all that stuff applies to Rico. You're probably going to see a little bit less of a rushing share, of course, with Hubbard, and a little bit less receiving work. I'd like to see the receiving stuff a little bit better on Rico. Shuck or Baker? I mean, Shuck has been really good. I would still absolutely roll Baker in 4 or 6 point. He's got all his weapons back. Was very close to a monster game. McMillan. I think I am lagging here. Maybe we should feel better about Tet than I do. Brees Hall, no idea what to do with him. Judkins, God, you hate to play Judkins after how things went. Emmanuel Wilson as well. Estime. Okay. I will rank. I mean, I want to rank Brees and Judkins over these other backs. I just don't know if you can do it. Like, they have not been good. They have not been reliable at all. Judkins is pretty much boom or bust. Man, I would say I'm a little sketched out about the injuries. Otherwise, Woody would be the top one. You get Chubb coming back. I would say Emmanuel Wilson, then Tet, then Woody. Then actually no. I'm still gonna go Judkins. Judkins plays that Buffalo defense. I'll just trust it that he's gonna score a touchdown. Hopefully, I'll go Wilson, Tet, that of course Jacobs doesn't play. Woody, Brees Hall, Ibuka Estime. I mean, yeah, I just don't feel good about Judkins. You know, we were saying to. Seems like I got some connection issues here. Give me one moment here. All right. So you got, that's tight. I'd probably go Judkins between Gainwell and Pitts. I'd probably say Gainwell. I'd probably say, Judkins, Gainwell, Pitts, and then Carter, who's a solid desperation. That's very tough. If you do not trust Judkins, I think you can make your choice on Gainwell or Pitts, absolutely. I think London absolutely should affect Kyle Pitts. The splits are just pretty obvious when London's missed. Pitts has been a whole new player, having a different role. I don't want to say he's like hard to trust, but again, it's half-point PPR. It's touchdown or bust with him. At least Judkins or Gainwell or even Michael Carter could rack you up a good game. I hope you were able to hear all that. I hope it wasn't lagging. But if you trust Judkins, I would trust Judkins in this Bills matchup. They just refuse to stop the run. You obviously saw what like Henderson did to them. Even Stevenson on his like limited, I think he just had like 6 carries. I think he even ran pretty well on them. So Judkins, I do not blame you if you are scared of him this week and want to lean on like Gainwell, who's been really hot. Again, Kyle Pitts, who was coming off a legendary game. I hope that helps Bryce. Maybe it helps to know, right, what your opponent has too, right? Maybe if he has I don't know. Maybe if he has like London or someone like that, or a player on the teams of who you're choosing from, or you're an underdog or a favorite, that could absolutely sway the decision. And yeah, Dan, I believe I am lagging a little bit here. It says something about my OBS is saying it's disconnecting and reconnecting, which is odd. So Zoom's having an issue. Maybe OBS is having an issue. I don't know. Yeah, you could try and jump back on the call, see what happens. Yeah. While I'm waiting for Dan to jump back on, maybe try and review something like Michael Wilson was a really interesting one. He's going to be a really interesting player this week. I'm sure a lot of people have questions about Michael Wilson. He is probably one of the most important answers you could have this week. Welcome back, Dan.
Yeah, I'm back on my computer now, so I don't know. We'll see if that's better or worse than the phone. We're trying whatever we can here, but as you were saying.
Yeah, I was just talking about how Michael Wilson's probably one of the more important answers to get right this week. With Marv back, especially the last time we saw Marv, I figured like I'm not gonna fire up Michael Wilson despite what we just saw. However, honestly, I'm gonna be on the Michael Wilson train this week. Marv. These are his own words. Also said he's good enough to go out there and play. Basically, like doesn't give me the most confidence about his basically about his health status right now.
Okay.
So I do think there's absolutely a risk of just Michael Wilson being like good old Michael Wilson that we know when Marv's there. I don't know. The targets have been insane. The passing volume is absolutely nutty. Marv's not healthy. I'm going to just buy into it. As long as, again, I don't have amazing options.
Yeah.
If I'm picking between other kind of sketchy flex plays anyways, I'm just going to trust Michael Wilson. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty much there with you. If Marv is...
helps me kind of trust Michael Wilson is I don't trust Marv coming back off this injury right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I honestly, someone's got to catch the football with how many dropbacks Brissett's having. It is insane. So it's just kind of leading me to I'm going to trust Michael Wilson more than more than I would want to with Marv back. It's just adding.
Yeah. I don't like starting a player in his first game back from injury in general, and I like it even less when it's a fantasy football playoff matchup, and the fact that Marv re-injured himself the last time he came back from this injury. So it's just kind of bad vibes all around for Marv and his health.
100%. I would say absolutely bad vibes. And again, Michael Wilson just keeps showing up. Like, I don't know if you've seen like the tape on this guy. He was torching Derek Stingley, like literally, hands down top 3 corner in the NFL. Just this dude is like, I'm actually buying it that he's like a legit receiver. I'd be fascinated to see what
Wow.
I'd be fascinated to see what Michael or Matt Harmon has to say. I'm sure he's gonna look into Michael Wilson this year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I've just seen clips of this guy
Mhm.
being a legitimate alpha receiver. It looks like it's just insane. So I mean, you're seeing it on the stat sheet, of course, as well now. So
Wow.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to buy it a little bit. I mean, there could be a little bit of like it almost kind of feels like you know, it's kind of felt like a little bit of like a Jameis Winston effect. Michael Wilson has felt a little bit like Cedric Tillman did last year,
yeah.
but it's lasted longer at this point. And at some point, if it just keeps going, like you just kind of have to like believe it a little bit. But yeah, I will be interested to see like what the film guys like Matt Harmon think of Michael Wilson. And I mean, I did like him as a sleep at college as a rookie, but and he showed a few flashes, but then okay, you're back now. I was just saying, yeah, he showed a few flashes early on, but then it just seemed like he was a roster clogger. But
Yeah.
who knows? Like, I mean, maybe he's like the next Nico Collins at this point. I mean, it kind of is starting to feel more like that than Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, interesting. Yeah, name to pop up there. I actually haven't even heard that comped. Again, it is year 3 for Michael Wilson. He literally looks legit, like for real. Like, I mean, yeah, and then you see, of course, the fantasy production with it. Just off like seeing basically like I mean like kind of some tape on his routes. I mean, you're seeing the usage; it's all over the place. It is 100% Jameis Winston but it's like but the issue is like his per route metrics are off the charts. You actually saw Jerry Jeudy last year, who was one of the biggest fades for just about anyone, and that was I've cared about anything to do with metrics. Jerry Jeudy's metrics never actually got bumped by Jameis Winston, despite a ton of production. That doesn't seem like that's a thing that could happen. Michael Wilson is like literally at like 3 yards per route run with Brissett. I mean, that is I mean, basically number 1 in the NFL. I mean, that would probably be JSN territory. So
yeah,
he's probably one of the more odd players ever. It's just like, if he's that good, then why are they not using him? Like when Marv's there, you know what I mean? It's not like Marv is going nuts. So I don't know. They have all these.
Well, I mean, Marv hasn't had a real opportunity yet with Brissett, or at least much of one. I mean, I remember like one of the first games where Brissett was in there, and Brissett was playing well, but yet every time you threw to Marv, like the pass was off target. So like, what is that about? Is that just like horrible luck that he just happened to get like Marv just happened to get the bad targets? The plays where Brissett was a little off or whatever, but. I feel like eventually that would have like corrected itself, and we probably would have seen like a really nice stretch from Marv here, and we were robbed of that. Now it has been a great opportunity for Michael Wilson to step up, which he absolutely has, and yeah, that is a fascinating discussion. But man, I do wonder what Marv would be doing in this situation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's the strangest thing is like, I mean, I don't think like Michael Wilson wouldn't affect. He just doesn't even affect Marv when Marv's there. It's just so odd that you're not seeing these like 15 targets to Marv, like whatever, you're not seeing these ridiculous things, and then Michael Wilson comes in, he's just getting like 15 targets per game. It's like, what is happening? It's the most decent value as like a throw into a deal.
Yeah, you're still talking about Michael Wilson or Brissett?
Michael Wilson, but honestly, both of them. Michael Wilson, but honestly, both of them. I mean, I'm a little bit interested in Brissett. Obviously, I'm going to play him this week versus you, which I got him thrown in that deal. Kind of valued having him. I'm just going to hope, again, he throws it 50 times. I'm not expecting anything from him next year, but Michael Wilson, I don't know. I'm not going to rule it out that he could.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd pay an early third for him all day. I mean, I don't think a late second would be crazy at this point. I don't know if I'd want to go like much higher than that, but I don't know. I mean, I guess I got to look into him a bit more. But I'm certainly open to him being a thing, and I think it's very possible.
Yeah, I'm pretty skeptical normally on a player like this, and I am absolutely on Michael Wilson. But I mean, I don't even know what I trade from that T Higgins deal I did in Listener League. Like I have no idea what it even equated to. It's good enough for me though.
Yeah. I mean, he does feel like one of those players right now, both Michael Wilson and Brissett, that are just like great values to buy in Dynasty because like their production is just so much better than what their value would indicate, their dynasty value. So I'd also put like Kenneth Gainwell into this. Like I think he's a really like nice buy right now, I think, in dynasty for contenders. I probably would have put Parkinson in this, like, before Thursday's game where he was slated, just had a dud, but that doesn't mean, Parkinson isn't going to be good, good the rest of the season. I mean, everyone's going to have a bad game once in a while. But yeah, Darren Waller, even, I know he takes a bit of a hit with Quinn Ewers, but I still think Waller's like a pretty nice, at least desperation start this week at tight end. Or maybe he could be looking to a guy like Waller as a security blanket. I hate it being an unknown for the fantasy playoffs, but